Welcome to the Hyborian Keep. I'm Old Man Hyborian. Here I review tales of Robert E. Howard's greatest character, Conan the Barbarian. Today I'll be reviewing Titan Books, Conan, the Songs of the Slain by Tim Lebbon. This won't be some fluffy review. It'll be an old man's honest opinion. And before we begin, just as a heads up, there may be spoilers. So I don't want you to go crying to your mummy if I say something that spoils it for you. With that, let's begin. To start, for any of you new Conan fans out there, before you read any pastiche Conan novels, you should first read Robert E. Howard's Conan stories. This will provide you with an understanding of who Conan really is. I would recommend the Del Rey copies as an excellent start. 3-volume set with all of Howard's Conan. Get them. Read them. It'll give you a good understanding of who the character is. Now on to the Songs of the Slain by Tim Lebbon. Titan keeps with the dust jacket theme of silhouette figures. I'm not a fan of it. I believe this was a missed opportunity for creating some new epic covers. The book appears well made. It's hardcover. It's green, not the green color that I would probably choose, but that's just personal preference. The inside dust jacket has a story summary. It mentions when Conan was a young man, he was saved by a fellow prisoner, Bahat Tam, and Conan gave a promise of returning that help at any time Tam needs it. Years later, when Conan is king, Tam calls in that favor. We have a list of all the other Conan novels by Titan Books. Then we have details on the publishing. This novel is available in hard copy and ebook, published by Titan Books, first edition, July 2025, and copyright of Conan Properties International. The next page is the newest version of the map of the Hyborian Age. Well done, Titan Comics. Very good map. There are illustrations in this novel by Juan Alberto Hernandez, and they are very well done. They're gritty, a good representation of how you would visualize Conan in his later days. This is a good one of Conan cutting the head off of some snake men. Yeah, I was very pleased with the illustrations. At the rear of the book, there's a little blurb about the author. Then we have a page of all of the new Conan content from Titan Comics. And a little section about the Conan City of the Dead by John C. Hawkins. Okay, now let's get into what the book was all about. When I first started the book, the premise of King Conan returning a favor of an old comrade from days of his youth was intriguing. The first few chapters were enjoyable and kept me engaged. There was a couple of things that was a bit annoying. For example, Conan was laying badly wounded on the battlefield and feeling sorry for himself. The self-doubt theme is scattered throughout this novel. That's not Conan. Another thing was when Conan was forming a relationship and having feelings for his horse Ella. So not Conan. A horse is a means of transportation, not a buddy. It was around chapter 6 when the story really started to circle a bowl. One thing that makes this story unlike Howard's Hyborian Age is that every second warrior is a woman. This is not a knock against women. There are plenty of strong women in today's age. However, this takes place in Howard's Hyborian Age, and women did not take such a prominent role in warfare. Howard did have strong warrior women such as Belit and Valeria. Even Roy Thomas had read Sonia. It was because these warrior women were rare that made them special and extraordinary. They were the exception, not the rule. I am of the opinion that having so many women warriors, it belittles Howard's Belit and Valeria characters. Another one of the many downfalls of this novel is all of the over-the-top encounters. While Conan is a groupie traveling with a musical band, at every turn they run into things like banshees, zombies, snake people. It rolls on from one crazy encounter to another. Just keeps going on and on and on. It didn't appear to be storytelling, just a series of events. Then we have the three villains of the story. The way their individual stories link the villains together for the common goal to kill Conan is rather weak. We have Grake, whose main drive is to kill Conan so he can be known to be the greatest warrior who ever lived. He has a drug he takes that makes him strong. The drug was given to him by a three-armed wizard. Yep, a three-armed wizard. The drug is kept in the ball sack of a demon, and the amount of drug never diminishes, no matter how much he takes. Lame. Then we have Crow Danaz, a Dr. Frankenstein-type magician. He's in a wheelchair and hates Conan because years ago, when he was an apprentice, Conan killed his master, Tsohai Lantai. There's a section that describes his conjuring, which moves blood from one beaker to another with the use of pumps and plastic tubes. Plastic tubes in the Hyborian Age. Super lame. Finally, we have Mylera, whose lifelong ambition is to kill Conan because her father saved Conan's life years ago and was killed in the process. And because Conan didn't know his name, she took great offense and wants to see him dead. She becomes a low-level sorceress. She was given a potion to help kill Conan. It's made out of the liver of an albino bat that lives a mile below ground in Stygia, mixed with the blood from an absorbed twin in a blind boy's brain, and finally, semen drawn from a bear man in the deepest jungles of Zimbabwe. How would you like to be the apprentice to gather those ingredients? Just felt way over the top. One example of the silliness in this story was at the first when Greg sends a note to Mylera about an opportunity to kill Conan. He sends a note via hawk, even though he has no idea where she's really at. The hawk, on its journey, gets killed by a spark kite, some kind of bird. It falls into the river and gets eaten by a crocodile, except for the wing and the leg with the note tied to it. A boy finds the floating wing and leg and picks it up, because he wants a feather from the wing to make a quill so he can write a story about his family history. Then the salmon eats the leg with the note attached, and a bear eats the salmon. The bear is killed by a priest of Set, and the body parts are harvested for ritual, and hung in the cellar of the temple. Mylera is in this very cellar retrieving supplies, and sees the hawk leg and note. Opens up the note, what do you know? It's addressed to her. Beyond nonsensical. I could go on about the horse farts, female pirate turned musician with a melted face, but it's just a plethora of lame story details. And I ended there. Well, there you have it. A disappointing novel from Titan Books. These new Titan novels are giving me the same feeling as the Tor run did back in the 80s and the 90s. Flooding the market with Conan tales by authors who have no idea who Conan is. This is not the worst Conan novel I've read, but close. For all you veteran Conan fans out there, this will be a groaner. For all you new fans, I would not make this your first Conan novel, or your second. And with that, I bid you farewell.